Foraging, the skill that is deemed to be the worst out of all the skills in hypixel skyblock. Nobody wants to grind foraging because of the competitiveness and its low XP rates. Luckily for you, I love foraging and I'll tell you how to love it too. Before I get into the tips, let me show you that I'm actually dedicated to foraging and not some other non who's trying to tell you how to forage. So let's say when I break this piece of wood, you can see that I have over 19 million XP over foraging 50. So if I go and look at my ranking, you can see I've got the max skill and you can see that I'm number 248 out of all players in skyblock for foraging. Most of the people there are probably macroing, but that's beside the point. So now let's start with the first tip. So one thing you need to know is that foraging is not fun if you don't have the best gear. But luckily for you, foraging is also one of the cheapest skills to grind. Here is a brief overview of what you will need to forage. You will need a tree capitator, an AOTE or AOTV, a fishing rod, a full young set or full Y set, and an ocelot and monkey pet. Out of all of these, the only thing that can maybe be optional is not having both pets, but you will want to have them as soon as you can. Now on to the next step. Fishing rod strategy is a strategy where the user uses a fishing rod and auto pet rules to switch between the monkey and ocelot pet very quickly, which makes you get a lot more XP than usual. All you have to do is make two auto pet rules. The first one being you throw a fishing hook, it equips monkey, and the second one being on gain foraging XP, you switch to an ocelot pet. Now, to use these effectively, all you need to do is break a tree, and as soon as you're done breaking the tree, go to your fishing rod and cast the rod, and then switch back to your axe and break another piece of wood. Now, just rinse and repeat, and you'll get a lot more foraging XP than usual. While it might seem tedious at first, when you do it for a very long time, you'll become very good at it, and it will be extremely satisfying. Now, on to the next step. The AUTV or AUTE is an extremely vital component of foraging. Because you teleport around so much, you're going to have to be very comfortable with using one. You probably know about an AUTE and an AUTV, but do you know the difference between the two of them? Other than the ether warp only being able to be applied to the AUTV, the AUTV is actually slightly faster to use than an AUTE. From this example, you should be able to see that the AUTV is very slightly faster than the AUTE. The reason for this is because when you use an AUTE, it actually blocks the sword and then it activates the transportation. So if you use an AUTV, it doesn't have to block the shovel because it can't. This makes it so it instantly teleports you. But luckily for you poor people who don't want to spend 10 mil on a diamond shovel, there is an easy way to bypass this. If you play on any version of the game above 1.8.9, you will actually be able to instantly teleport. This makes it just as fast as the AUTV, and if you do want to be the fastest as foraging, you should play on 1.16. It might seem a little bit annoying to switch versions, and it's not that big of a difference, but if you do want to go and try it out to see what it's like having an AUTV, feel free to try on 1.16 because it is so much nicer than using a normal AUTE. Setting goals is actually very important. I know it sounds dumb and no one actually wants to care about all this psychological stuff, but it is something that made me grind a lot more in skyblock and made it a lot more fun in general. What I personally like to do is set a certain amount of XP or skill level I would like to reach, and then see how much XP I need to get that and divvy it up across a certain schedule. I'll be honest with you, if you only forage and do nothing else at the same time, it's gonna become very boring. But today I'll teach you some ways to watch videos while you're foraging, even if you don't have a second monitor. If you have a second monitor, all you have to do is go and plop up another tab on the second monitor with whatever video you want to watch and just click play and start foraging. It might seem a little hard to watch at first, but as you get better and better at foraging, it'll become easier and easier. But if you're like me and didn't have a second monitor for a very long time, I would definitely recommend using a picture-in-picture plugin. Picture-in-picture is basically any of those add-ons you can get on Google Chrome, Opera, Firefox that just allow you to take a video and move it anywhere on your screen. This is actually extremely simple to do. Assuming you're using Chrome, all you have to do is go to the Chrome Web Store and download any picture-in-picture plugin. It's very easy to find one, and here's the one that I use. Now, after it's done downloading, in the top right, you will see a little button, and whenever you click that, it will actually take whatever video you're watching and put it in its own little window. Now, you can drag this window wherever you want, and if you put it above your game, it will sit there while you're playing. If you're playing full screen, it won't work. But there is a way to bypass this if you don't want to be playing in windowed mode. I personally use windowed mode, but if you want full screen and to have this on the top of the screen, all you have to do is download this program called Borderless Gaming. It's extremely simple to use, and once it's set up correctly, you'll be able to have full screen while being able to watch a video. And after that's done, you can start happily grinding. Well, thank you boys for watching this video, and I'll see you in another one. Peace.